SmackDown review for the August 30th episode of SmackDown. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers, talk about some wrestling, huh?
Yeah, originally we didn't plan on doing a SmackDown review, but due to the quick turnaround, I guess, with the Bash coming up tomorrow, or I guess today, but with us not doing one last weekend, we're like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's a take-home episode of Bash. We might as well get ahead and go for it. So we start off in Berlin, and what better to start it off than with the United States champion, LA Knight. Yeah. He comes out and he talks about how this is the first televised German show in 27 years. Good Lord. And he goes, I might as well defend it in Germany if I defend it in the United States as well. And so he issues an open challenge. And who else but the other German guy that doesn't already have a title, Mr. Ludwig Kaiser, accepts the open challenge from Mr. LA Knight. And the crowd goes wild. Absolutely wild. He comes out with a mic and he does his ladies and gentlemen, but he does it in German, kind of. He's talking German. Crowd's loving it. It's good stuff. He says, Ludwig Kaiser is home. There is no better German than the German Ludwig Kaiser. And he says, after I beat you, I will turn that title into the European Championship. Kind of a cool little nod. LA Knight would said, you could win it, but you're not gonna, because I'm not gonna let you, and I'm gonna hit it and quit it. Yeah. And so the match starts. We get ourselves an LA Knight versus Ludwig Kaiser U.S. Championship match. And they sat there at the beginning of the match and they let Ludwig Kaiser soak it all in because they were going absolutely wild for that man.
Yeah.
But great match would ensue, back and forth. No one really got the upper hand throughout the entirety of the match. It was very much a move trade-off throughout the match, but big moves from everybody here. So LA Knight would get a suplex onto the ring apron on the outside, which was really nice, but Ludwig would but he would respond quickly with his patented running on the outside of the ring drop kick into the steel steps onto LA Knight. So that was pretty nice. We get an LA Knight comeback. He would throw Ludwig face off the announce table like 10 times. Just keep smashing him. And then he'd throw him into the ring, and he would go up to the second turnbuckle and do a good old elbow drop from there. Ludwig Kaiser would do a Ludwig Kaiser roll where he has him kind of in like the FU position and roll with him. Get a 1-2, ooh. They trade back and forth with some nice little back and forth. BFT from LA Knight. 1, 2, 3. LA Knight retains his U.S. title. But this is just good stuff, man. This is exactly what Ludwig Kaiser needs to be doing. Pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. Great way to start off SmackDown, to get the hometown guy. I know, as we've talked about before, people are like, well, Gunther's not really from Germany. Well, I get that, but Kaiser is.
Yep.
So to have him there in his hometown, or not hometown, but home country, not too far from his hometown, from what I was understanding. Good match, solid. Like you said, it wasn't like LA completely squashed him. He held his own, so he proves that he can go with these mid-card guys as he should. And overall, I would like to see this again. Now, I don't think they're going to, obviously, because of the different brands and everything, but it would be cool. And then with Kaiser teasing the European Championship, I looked at you and I was like, oh man, that would be so cool.
Dude, 100%. We need a European Championship. We've been saying that for a few weeks now, that Raw or SmackDown needs to introduce the European Championship. So that would obviously be phenomenal. But another thing that I've just noticed, match in, match out with LA Knight, the reps have paid off. He's getting so much better in the ring. That man is a true champ. And this is the stuff. This is why we say so often that we want Gunther or Ludwig to switch brands, because instantly this felt like a bigger deal. And like there was a decent heel on the screen. Like Ludwig walked in and he's done enough work already to where I was like, great heel. This is going to be a great match. Sold.
Yeah, and it was interesting because obviously he is the heel, but then he's in his home country, so he's kind of the face, but then LA is kind of the face as well. And you can tell the crowd, like, they were fighting with the idea, right? They're like, do we want the home country guy or do we want LA? Like, we like both of these guys. So it was cool just to kind of feel that again. And like you said, somebody to go against those baby faces on SmackDown, because you have Cody and LA overwhelmingly babyface, and nobody's really there for them.
Yeah, agreed. That we need some more heels on SmackDown. That's the end of the story. We get a long Gunther versus Orton promo package. Stuff looks good. A lot of promo packages for the night period. It felt like they were giving us the Bash in Berlin promo packages, like long 2, 3, 4 minute long video packages. They were all good, but like, man, they filled a lot of SmackDown tonight with that.
Yeah, you'll see them tomorrow on the pre-show. Yeah. You'll see them tomorrow on the actual show. Yeah. You'll see them before the match. You'll see them on the post-show. Yeah. And probably on Raw.
We'd get to another match show. Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin would come out. They'd fight the Los Garzas. Mm-hmm. Have they always been called Los Garzas? Have I been missing that?
I don't think so. They used to be called something else like a year or two ago when they teamed up, like just those two teamed up a while back. Yeah. Don't remember what it was, though.
Anyway, Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews are fun to watch, and they would start hot. They would go back and forth at the beginning, but we'd eventually get a tag in Baron Corbin to Apollo Crews, and this time Baron Corbin would launch Apollo Crews over the top rope. They seem to take turns doing that to each other, and it's sick every time they do it. I love it. But he'd take out absolutely everybody. Garzas would dominate the mid-match, though. Apollo Crews would work in the ring and do what he does best, make other people look great, take bumps. So the Garzas were just tagging in and out, showing off that they are the Garzas, and they're a good tag team, and they were beating the hell out of Apollo Crews. Until he would eventually get a hot tag to Mr. Baron Corbin, who would take advantage of the moment, taking out everybody with some running knees, running clothesline. He'd go to the top rope and do like a clothesline off the second turnbuckle. He's experimenting a lot with just his athleticism in the ring, and it's great. And they put him in good situations for it. So Baron Corbin's also doing some good stuff. I don't know which Garza, sorry, but he would do like a suplex into a cutter.
I believe that was on Humberto, I believe.
Yeah, he would go for just a regular suplex, but then toward the top would launch him up in the air and then catch him in a cutter. But Baron Corbin's got a moveset, huh? Dude, NXT works, man. Eventually, though, the referee would happen. Electra was outside the ring along with Santos Escobar for the Garzas. Electra distracts the ref. This gives Escobar a moment to throw Baron Corbin into steel steps, rendering him useless for the rest of the match. And then the Los Garzas would hit their new finisher, the MTY. It's abbreviation for where they're from. I didn't catch it.
Monterrey,
okay.
Yeah, Monterrey, Mexico.
The MTY finish. They get the pin on Apollo Crews. 1, 2, 3. There's absolutely nothing for me to hate in this match. Apart from the fact that it's just kind of there. Like the point of it is just there. But the match and everything was fun. Pop.
I'm going to drop this one.
Oh!
Just because it is there.
Yeah.
As we'll get into with the next match and things like that, I felt very house show vibe to this. Just this night as a whole. As you look at it, like, I understand, I guess, kind of why they did that, but at the same time, it's the go-home show to a PLE, even though it is a quote-unquote B PLE. I feel like they should have made it feel more important.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have gotten to see some, I don't know, Unholy Union or Jade and Bianca. Like, I understand we get the promo package.
We get the one promo package.
Would have liked to see something, right? This match was just kind of there, like you said, and that's kind of why I'm dropping it. I feel like I've seen this match before, and I feel like SmackDown tonight was like a deja vu episode for me. I feel like, okay, I've seen this.
It was filler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if I had to like score just the vibe of the night, I'd drop it. And I know that we have a lot more to get to, but like nothing was bad on this show, and I'll probably keep popping things, but like none of the rivalries were on the show except for Cody and Kevin, and we're about to get to that, and it was fine, but like, this did kind of just feel like, okay, throw something together in Germany so we can get to Bash. Yeah. But I mean, sometimes it is what it is,
Yeah, and like I said, if this match, like if I had gotten to see, like if we went to like a Raw or a SmackDown and I got to see this like as a dark match, I would be very happy with it. I didn't even have any problem with the match itself. It's just the fact that, I feel like I've been there before and just that vibe of that.
I feel like, speaking of being there before, we get a Bloodline promo package of that dark room that they sit in. So it's Solo at the table and the rest of them surrounding with Jacob Fatu in the back. And he talks about how it's Bloodline versus Street Profits with DIY next week. So like a 4v4 match. That's got potential, obviously. But he says, I took out Jimmy. I took out the Wise Man. I took out Roman Reigns. Those are my own family. Imagine what we will do to you guys. And then before it cuts, he goes, and speaking of, and when it comes to Cody and Kevin, I don't give a damn who wins that match. Whoever wins it, I'm coming for that title. So he's 100% coming for it. Fatu puts the Ulafala around his neck. So
yeah, they did have a weird is the way I'll describe it, where Fatu goes to come in early, like with the
Ulafala.
Yeah, he like takes a step and then Solo's like, no, wait.
Yeah.
Like I'm not done yet. And then Jacob takes a step back and then he goes and does it again. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like obviously they're trying to plant something there a little bit, but it was just like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we're planting that already. So it was fine.
All I can really say about that is I hope Roman gets involved and stops him from going after the title. I just really need the bloodline to be away from the Undisputed title for a while. Just keep them completely separate. Anyway, Nick Aldis is now in the ring. Mm-hmm. He basically said it's been a great week in Berlin and Germany as a whole. Yeah. They've gone around touring there. They've been doing some good stuff. So he was just celebrating that. And then he calls out the main event for SmackDown on Bash of Berlin, which he said is going to be the best match at Bash of Berlin.
He did say that.
Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, who each come out to the ring. And Aldis just leaves immediately. He just trusts them. He's just like, all right, gentlemen, have fun. And he leaves. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Kevin did it. He goes, so Cody, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, get it, because he says it. It's pretty corny, but I liked it. It was a pop from me. Anyway, he says, do you want to talk about your knee, though? He goes, we've been here for a week, and I heard that you heard it during the tour. In fact, you wouldn't even get on a knee during your promo or during your intro like you normally do. And Cody just kind of like immediately gets rid of it. And he's like, no. We don't need to talk about that. My knee's fine. It's good. But let's talk about last week when you handed me my title, but it sure as hell looked like for a second there, you were going to hit me in the back of the head with it. And given your track record, are you spiraling out of control a little bit? And Kevin basically comes back and goes, are you kidding me? I get in my past, I did some sketchy things, but those people deserved it, apart from Kofi Kingston. And he apologized for that one. But he goes, you and I are always close. We always are going to be close. And I was even close with your dad. And Cody responded by saying, I get it. Maybe you're just angry because around 2015, 2016, I left the WWE and I built myself up. And I kind of went on this wrestling roller coaster where I built a lot of people up and you weren't really there with me. And when I came back in 2022 or whatever it was, I immediately stepped back into your spotlight and stole it from you. I'd be mad too. And, Kevin goes, no, it's not about that. And I can't believe that you brought up my past because I don't need cheap shots. And he goes, but other than that, I'm just going to say it, your knee is hurt. You are hurt. You didn't do your entrance thing. You're just hurt. And Cody stops him right away and says, what are you trying to call off the match? He's like, is that what you're doing here? You trying to sabotage this? And Kevin goes, no. The reason I'm bringing it up is because the last time I won the title, it was because of Triple H, and everybody said I didn't deserve it because Triple H won me the title. So if I beat you with a bum knee, people are going to say that I don't deserve it. And Cody stopped him right there, and he got really excited and all hooked up, and he was like, my knee is 100%. You're just angry that I couldn't include you in my rise back to the WWE. I love you, dude, but tomorrow I am still going to beat you, and the question will be, will we still be friends? And Kevin Owens looks at him, drops the mic, whispers into Cody's ear, leaves the ring. This was good. I like this work. If you're not going to pull the Kevin Owens heel turn before the event, this is the best thing that you could have given me, really. So I love this pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. We got to see a little bit different from Cody Rhodes. I like that aspect of it. You always see the memes and everything on the internet of, oh, my dad's Dusty Rhodes, and then he starts crying or whatever.
Oh, I thought he was going to tear up. When he started saying I love you, I was like, oh, we're going to get tears here.
He was fighting it, I think. But it was nice for me at least to see like him talking about how he blazed his own trail. Like, and Kevin, you're just jealous. Like, I like that element of it because when you do think about it, you're like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, that makes sense. And then it was nice to see Kevin, his side of things, like him refuting that and being like, no, that's not true. This is why I'm upset. This is why. So it added a different like element to, I think, Kevin Owens that I didn't really think about.
I think it added an element to both of them. Like it all made sense. Mm-hmm. Like it didn't feel like a random story thread that they just needed to throw in there for story's sake. Like I was like, oh, it makes sense that Cody would think that. Oh, totally makes sense for Kevin Owens to feel that way.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
We moved on to a short backstage segment with Apollo Crews and A-Town Down Under. Basically, Waller's talking shit, and Baron Corbin gets in Theory's face, or he gets pissed about it, and Theory and Waller's like, Theory's the one who said it, man. And Baron Corbin gets in Austin Theory's face, but Apollo Crews pulls him away, and then Theory is like, dude, why are you blaming this stuff on me, man? Like, it feels like we're falling apart. He said it, and Waller basically said, he's just being a dick is kind of who he is, and he's sorry, and he loves his best mate. Mm-hmm. So more cracks in that forever long whatever we're getting there.
Right after that, my immediate thought was like, God, like they're really dragging that one on.
They are at this point. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Excuse me.
Like there was a point when they had the belts and it was after Mania, and we got the teases here and here and here, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. But now it's like, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah,
we're past SummerSlam, bro.
It's just like, can we do it already?
Yeah,
that's kind of my thought.
Okay.
Maybe Bad Blood. I mean,
Austin
is from there, so he's got to have a match.
Giovanni Vinci promo. He said that next week is when he return, or is when he's coming back. But he said it was not next week. It's not going to be my return. It will be my arrival. So Giovanni Vinci will be there next week. Cool stuff to come. Then we get the fourth match, and a banger it was. Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Andrade's up 2-1 in this random best of 7, I'm guessing, series.
I would assume 7.
Yeah,
they haven't really made that clear.
But it makes sense sports-wise, so we're going to say it. Yeah. They put on a show. We always talk about, every time we review their matches, it's like, well, this is awesome, but are they going to be able to keep topping it? They do it. They're goated. Like, these guys have all the chemistry in the world. Yeah. But Carmelo would sprint from his entrance. He wouldn't waste any time, but Andrade would kick his ass kind of most of this match. So he sprinted to the ring, but Andrade would immediately throw him out, and then Andrade would go to the top rope and do a corkscrew dive from the top rope onto Carmelo Hayes. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, it was clean.
Yeah, and then he'd bring him back into the ring, throw him where he's hanging on the turnbuckle, but turn him out toward the apron and do a turnbuckle stomp on him onto the apron. And I'm like, this man's killing him. Mm-hmm. Absolutely murdering him.
Yeah.
And when he did that, Carmelo Hayes sold a knee injury the rest of the match, but it didn't really ever come into play. So
yeah, he kind of sold it like right away, but then like it didn't progressively get worse or anything like that. Didn't work it over or anything.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but whatever. Andrade would continue the heat momentum. He would do that double moonsault where he lands the first one and then gets the second one.
So clean.
It's amazing every single time. Then Melo would get a little bit of offense. He hit the first 48 is what they're calling it. They played it like 3 times. Mm-hmm. It's a code breaker to the front. Yep. It's code breaker. Pretty cool, I guess. But they would go back and forth and they would fight on top of the turnbuckle. And on one of the moves, I think it was like a rolling suplex or something, but Carmelo Hayes grabbed the top turnbuckle from one of the ring posts and exposed it, which would become a thing later in the match. Hayes would he would do that, and then Andrade would go to do like where people like run to the other turnbuckle to set up a running maneuver. So he'd run toward that turnbuckle and realize, oh, it's exposed, and that would distract him enough for Carmelo Hayes to get a super kick on him, and Carmelo Hayes would get some offense here. But they keep going. Andrade would hit a freaking springboard Spanish fly on the man and then do it again from the top rope.
Yeah, they did that like, I don't even know how to describe. I mean, they were on the second rope, both facing the same side. Yeah. And they did the Spanish fly. Like, I've never seen that before.
It was freaking amazing.
Super innovative.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it's happened before, but I've never seen it before.
Anyway, Andrade would he'd have Carmelo Hayes sitting up on the top turnbuckle of the ring post that had the exposed turnbuckle on, and he was standing up vertically while Carmelo was sitting on it, and Carmelo would sneak through his legs, hit his leg off to where he slipped, hits his head on the exposed turnbuckle, and then Carmelo Hayes would turn this in and hit his finishing move, the nothing but net. Gets the pin here, 1, 2, 3. Carmelo Hayes ties the series up 2-2. This match is sick. I love this best of 7 randomness from these guys. It's just working for me. Pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. Nice to see that they gave it some time again. That's the thing that I really like about these matches. They're giving them time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, how can they continue to one-up it? They continue to do so. Super innovative stuff. I don't know how you could be upset with it.
No.
The only gripe you may have is like, oh, well, it's not for anything.
The purpose.
Yeah. But
I mean, you would think that this would build into the U.S. title scene.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah,
And I mean, we've talked about, I miss days where there's just random feuds.
Yeah.
So it works here.
Yeah.
Especially on SmackDown where they don't have a lot going on. They can kind of just pencil this in whenever, and they know they're going to put on.
Exactly what that is.
Yeah, they know they're going to put on
And
4 or 5 star matches.
Yeah. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, so popping it.
Yeah, popping it. Bianca and Jade promo. We talked about promo packages earlier. This one, they were like talking to each other in the promo package, but you could only see one at a time. And they were like, "We're gonna win these titles back. Let's go, let's go!" And they would, they were hyping each other up. It was a little weird. And then Jade said, "We're gonna win those titles back. It's inevitable." So, yeah, they're gonna win.
Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. Who knows? That's why we watch, I guess, huh?
Yeah, the promo packages tonight were just kind of like, oh. Anyway, wow, we're already to our main event.
Excuse me.
I mean, it was a quick show.
I mean, it's a quick show and there's promos and commercials all day.
Yeah.
It's rough.
There was a lot of commercials and promos, man. It filled a lot of the time.
It was rough. I know a few weeks ago, I want to say, maybe 2 weeks ago, I think somebody pointed out in one of the comments that there were like 3 matches.
Yeah.
And that was it. And tonight there was
3 matches.
4.
1, 2.
Because there was
3, 4.
Yeah, the tag, LA, the Nia.
I mean, 4 matches in 2 hours with a bunch of story stuff in between. That's what you expect from a 2-hour show, right? If you're getting a banger,
I'd want one more. I'd want 5 personally.
Mm.
But I mean, I also feel like these matches, as we'll get into, I wish they just meant something.
Yeah. Well, this one meant something.
Throwing them out there.
This one was a women's world title match, WWE Championship match. It was Michin versus Nia Jax in a street match. Michin would get a second walkout where they would film her behind the curtain, and she had a kendo stick. She said, "It's not who I am, it's what I'm about," as she unveils a shopping cart full of weapons, like kind of how Bad Bunny had one back at Backlash a couple years ago.
Michael Cole called them a cart of toys.
Cart of toys.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, before we get into the match itself, she came out
to no pop.
No,
I don't think Germany knew who she was.
No pop, no boo, no nothing. I mean, just nothing.
Yeah, I don't think Germany know who she was. Maybe they don't watch NXT over there. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they probably know who she is from SmackDown, little segments here and there. But, like, I mean, good God. You talk about no reaction. That was
They're probably like, this is the main event we're getting? I say that, but it ended up being pretty good. Michin would run out with a kendo stick right away and beat the hell out of Nia Jax. Beating her. And then Nia Jax would steal the kendo stick, go for a hit, and Michin would reverse that, throw Nia Jax into the ring post on the outside, get her into the ring, do a Hurricane Rana like through the middle rope, which Nia kind of ate. Like she didn't get the full throw in, and she kind of ate it on the mat. 1-2 ooh from her. Michin would go outside of the ring, start throwing in weapons into the ring. You know what you got to do during a street fight. You got to prove that you have weapons. So you throw them all into the ring. She'd get a table out. Crowd goes wild, but Nia Jax is there to hit her with a kendo stick. And she puts the table back underneath. Boo from the crowd.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it. And then Michin would push her over like into the announce table. Then she'd get the table back out. Yay, from the crowd. I like that stuff. Nia would do a Uranagi onto the ring apron, though. That was pretty nice. So, like, Nia was inside the ring. Michin was on the outside, and she, like, Uranagi'd her to the outside. Pretty good stuff. And then Nia would go and set up a table into the corner. Mm-hmm. When she did that, Michin would come, or she would then walk over to pull Michin into the ring. Fire extinguisher. Weapons are fun. I like fire extinguishers. It makes a loud noise. It looks cool. She'd hit her with the fire extinguisher, not hit her with it, spray her with it, then go to the top rope, hit a missile drop kick. These women love their missile drop kicks, and it's great every single time they do it. Yep. Nia would then slam Michin on top of a trash can, so she would just bring her over there and slam her on top of it. And Michin would she'd get up though, and she'd take the trash can lids and start bashing Nia over the head with it.
Mm-hmm.
Playing,
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, playing the what are they called?
The cymbals?
Yeah, the cymbals with Nia's head in the middle. And she would get another table and set it up in the middle of the ring. Fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Nia would then hit Michin with a chair, put her onto the table, and she would go for an annihilator or she would go up to the top of the rope.
Which was, by the way, that's so far away.
Yeah, no chance she was getting
so far.
So Michin was laying on the table. Nia's working her way up to the top rope to do an annihilator through the table, but Michin's like, I don't really feel like laying here on this table. I might as well go do something. And then she gets underneath Nia Jax and power bombs her through the freaking table. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, does Michin pin her? No, Michin's tired because that takes energy. Tiffany's music hits. Mm-hmm. It's Tiffy time. She's sprinting out to the ring. Yeah. Crowd pop for that one. They love some Tiffy there. Mm-hmm. And she's got the briefcase in hand and she's looking back and forth to Nia, or she runs in the ring, hits Michin with the briefcase, of course, because you gotta, get away from me.
Yeah.
And she's looking at Nia. She's looking at the ref, and she's like, "Oh, should I do this? Should I do this?" Crowd's going wild. But when she looks back at Nia sees her, and Nia's like, "What are you doing here?" And Tiffy's like, "Oh, I don't want to piss off Nia." So she grabs Nia and pulls her over on top of Michin and is like, yeah, I'm helping you here. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, ooh. And then Tiffy's like, okay, well, I need to make this work. So she goes over and she's going to go for the prettiest moonsault ever. And she goes up one turnbuckle. Bayley's music hits. Bayley's back. First time since
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam? Yeah, was it SummerSlam? And was it? Yeah. SummerSlam, Nia win. She runs in the ring after Tiffy. She chases Tiffany away. And Nia Jax is like, screw all this. I'm just going to destroy you now. To Michin, basically. Yeah. So Nia would Samoan drop her through the table. And then would drag her over to the corner, get the trash can, put the trash can over her whole body, and then proceed to annihilate her trash can to her face. 1, 2, 3, she gets the win, and then she grabs the broken piece of the table, throws it at her, grabs more garbage cans, throws it at her.
Kendo sticks, chairs, just everything.
I mean, when I saw this match on paper, at first we didn't know it was a street fight. When I saw Michin, Nia Jax, I was like, ooh, but it ended up being a lot of fun. The Tiffy cash-in drama was something that I didn't see coming this early on. That's kind of interesting. Bayley's back. Michin looked like, the crazy woman that she's been on NXT. It was a good showing for her. Pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. If I had to sit here and pick it as my main event, what matches would you want as your main event? This would not be my first choice, but it was fun. We always talk about WWE needing more fun stuff.
Yep.
That's kind of what this was. Again, it had a really, to me, a really big house show feel. And the Tiffany teasing the cash in again, I like that part of it. Bayley's back, so I guess we'll probably get some sort of tag match between Michin and Bayley and Tiffany.
It's also probably a buffer.
Yeah.
In between the Tiffany Nia inevitability, you have Tiffy and Bayley go at it for a little while because you already had Bayley and Nia, so maybe she can keep running with Michin or something. I don't know, but there's a buffer there. There's now a buffer, right. So we got a little bit of a hint tonight, but for the most part, our next hint's probably not gonna be for a while.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. As a whole, I mean, I guess if you look at the numbers, pops or drops, I guess technically we popped this episode. I'm going to just flat out say I would drop the episode. I'm not going back to watch this episode.
Yeah.
The Carmelo Andrade, I think, was the only part that I would seek out. I mean, I thought the Kaiser stuff was cool, but...
For what we got, it was a pop for me, but, I get it. It was meaningless. The Cody and Kevin stuff was maybe 5-7 minutes of meaningful storyline, relevancy to tomorrow night. Yeah. For a take-home episode.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It was not a good take-home episode.
Where's Bianca and Jade? Where's your, why aren't they there? We talked about Gunther not being there on Raw, and Raw at least is good enough to kind of make up with it, and it's because it just has so many workhorses and talent. But when you don't do that on SmackDown, when you don't have the main rivalry show up, then it just feels like ugh.
Yeah, and that's kind of my main takeaway. Like you said, a lot of promos, a lot of commercials. It felt like I said, I felt like I had seen this episode before. Yeah. A little bit, obviously, like I said, a little bit different with the Nia stuff, with the street fight stuff. That was fun. It was enjoyable. But again, that's something that I want to see at a house show, not a take home, go home.
I would agree. So we're popping and dropping the episode as a whole for the first time.
Yeah.
That is what it is. But tomorrow is Bash in Berlin. I guess today is Bash in Berlin. It might be a hell of a show. We're at least going to get some great matches. Maybe we get some good stuff that we don't know what's coming. Maybe Daddy H is gonna bless us with some twists and turns. But follow us on all of our socials at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts at Spotify, Apple, etc. And if you want to talk with us during Bash in Berlin, as well as any other WWE programming, join our Discord. It's a link tree in our bio. Come say hi. We got a bunch of people in there having fun who love to talk some wrestling. Mm-hmm. Woo! As always, though, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.